rolling.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, awesome. Just want to say thanks again, Daniel, for being on our podcast. We're a small and mighty podcast that we cover mostly F1, but I'm trying to get us to cover more like of the motorsport world besides F1.
Sure.
Um, and I'm thrilled that you responded to my DM because I've seen your profile. I think what really hooked me is I saw your video and you said that you started racing at 29 years old. That's right.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Wow. So like, what's your story, man? Like how did you get started with all that? Like, walk us through like your whole thing, your whole
Yeah,
career.
I mean, so I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. If you're not familiar, there's no motorsport really there. I mean, there's people, there's a car culture, of course, but there's no real like connection to motorsport. So growing up, I didn't really have like a big tie to motorsport. Obviously, I was like a fan. I would see like ALMS, which is like IMSA before it was IMSA on TV, and I'd watch the odd F1 race here and there and things like that. But I never really like I wasn't able to do it, and I don't come from money either, so like it super wasn't like something that was accessible for me. So, I just did normal career stuff. Like I jumped into like the STEM field and I became a software engineer like right outside of high school, and I've just been doing that for the past or from like 18 to now, I guess. But at some point I started to do little track days and stuff like that. Like I said, I was into car culture, so I had a time attack car that I like built from scratch. It was my second car ever, and I built it over time. And that was it. That was like the most that I had any relation to motorsport, and it was fine. Like there was no issue with that, of course. But during COVID, I think a lot of people did this, but I got into sim racing pretty heavily, and I never really like thought that I had like really any skill. Like I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of okay at this. But I'm pretty competitive, so I sought some coaching. When I was getting the coaching, the coach was like, maybe they were just trying to sell me on more coaching sessions, but they were like, "Hey, you kind of have a little bit of a talent here." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right. Maybe I need to like pursue this a little bit more." Then I met someone that kind of told me like what you need to do to jump into motorsport, which is like the big thing, right? Like there's kind of this like gatekeepiness around, if that's a word, around motorsport. And so you got to know a guy to know a guy to know a guy to tell you what to do. And so this guy told me what to do, and I jumped like feet first into it. So I think in January I started. I got like my racing license, like went to racing school, and then by July I was in the UK with an FIA license racing Praga R1s, which is like a LMP-esque prototype. The rest is history, to be honest. I've just been kind of jumping into it since then and racing as much as I can. And now we're doing IMSA. So
Wow,
That's
that is so cool.
that is really
Uh,
cool to hear all that. Oh, that's so cool.
it's been a fast journey, but a journey nonetheless. And yeah, I mean it's great. I think one of the things I really want to do is like try to help be that guy that someone was for me, but for as many other people as possible. Not just like as a driver, but also like again, I come from the STEM space, so as an engineer or like people that are into marketing or people like you guys, like podcasters, like people that are into broadcasting and stuff like that, like just kind of expanding it, expanding access, especially on the sports car side of things. So that's my bread and butter. So yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I love seeing people help make like the motorsport community like more accessible for everybody. It's kind of like a relatively new thing where people are like kind of being more inclusive and like getting the sport away from like this elitism thing. And just on the last episode of like our podcast, we were talking about that kind of issue. So like that's really awesome to see. I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I'm in Austin, Texas, so I just did like a lecture, which was like really weird for me, at UT, with some of there's like a sim racing club, and then there's like a Baja racing team that they have, and we're bringing them out to Coda to like my next race in May, And we're trying to get IMSA involved, or we're gonna like try to do some talks with different people from the industry. Maybe like, the fuels folks can talk to the chemistry majors, and the mechanics can talk to the engineering folks and things like that, and just try to get them like actual pathways into jobs so that when they graduate, they can use their degrees for things that they want. Like I never went to college. I didn't. I was in like a period where I was like, okay, I don't know if what I get a degree in I'll actually want to do. And funny enough, what I would have gotten a degree in, I'm not doing anything near that. So, I think a big part of that reason why that is the case is there's a lot of places don't really give you like help getting into jobs or showing you how your major can align with different things that you're actually interested in. So that's what I'm trying to kind of use my position, I guess, to help create. So yeah, and that's going pretty cool as well. So that's my whole thing, right? Like if I do 2 races or 1 race in IMSA, if I help some people get into the space, like that's a mission accomplished, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's badass. I just want to point out really quick. I didn't know you were in Austin.
Yeah.
I'm in San Antonio currently
Oh.
right now. Caleb's in San Antonio too.
Yeah, we're
So
we're both in San
not
Antonio
far.
right now.
Oh, uh-oh. So I'll see you guys in May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down.
Are
Yeah.
we gotta do a live episode?
If we want to do a live
Dude.
episode in May, absolutely. I'm so down.
That would be sick. Okay, let's do that. Let's do
Okay,
that. We'll
yeah.
do a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up episode in May, live at the track.
Okay.
Dude, you don't-
Absolutely.
that's not even like I'm completely in on this. This is
Okay,
awesome.
okay. All right, we have to figure out how to make that work logistically, but we're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
If we gotta
That's
get like a GoPro and like a phone mic or something, like we'll make it happen.
We'll
Well, I
make it
mean, we're on
happen.
our computers right now, so I mean, all we need is internet.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's do it.
I gotta hop.
Awesome.
We'll make it work. Dude, this is so cool. What the heck?
Okay, so I'm not doing a good enough job on my socials to let people know where I am. I gotta work on that. I gotta work on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really had no idea because I know when I was DMing you, you said Central Time, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Central Time. I wonder where he's at, like Dallas or something maybe. But no, you're in Austin.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
Um,
permanently stay about an hour north of Austin, and of course San Antonio is about an hour south of Austin. So we
Okay,
could all
yeah.
just meet in the middle. Right now
There you go.
I'm in San Antonio visiting, but usually throughout the week I'm like an hour north of Austin. So we could all just
Where like well, don't dox yourself, but like
Yeah.
where like how north are we talking? Are we talking like Pflugerville area, or are we talking like Waco area?
No, it's like it's a little bit south of Waco.
Oh, okay, got
Yeah.
you. All right, leave it at that.
Yeah.
yeah, before the hackers try
Yeah,
figuring it
no,
out.
they're gonna find it really quick.
Oh man.
Cool.
I love Coda, by the way. I've been once. I just had like a little track day on like a motorcycle there.
A little that's not a little thing. That's gnarly. You did a track day on a bike?
Yeah,
That's insane.
this is
I
my
couldn't
first,
do that.
this is my first track day too.
I couldn't do that.
I literally got like 2 hours of sleep that night before because I just could not. I was too excited to like get into it. Yeah, I was amped up. My buddy / personal mechanic had my bike on his trailer, and we drove Dakota together. And then I was like, I had 5 sessions that I was in with like an instructor and like 3 other people, and I was there from like 8 a.m. to like 5 p.m.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, I learned so much. I had no idea what I didn't know that day.
Yeah. I mean, that's like so like that's kind of like what I started doing is like HPDEs and stuff like that. And I feel like that's the intro. Doing it on a bike though is crazy. Like that's shout out to you. I couldn't do that.
Thank you. Yeah, no.
Jada was
I don't
right.
have
That
it-
is like a subtle brag.
Yeah, it's just I just this little track day thing, you know.
Just a little, you know.
little thing over there.
I don't know. I guess in my head it's like not a big deal because like I did it and it's like
Yeah.
me, right? But like I tell that to other people and they're like, wait, what? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I had like a similar thing. I went to Silverstone. I raced at Silverstone actually a couple of times last year. And I was just like talking about it with someone. Someone was like, "Wait, you were at Silverstone?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What? Like that's crazy." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess so." And it's kind of cool, huh?
That no, I mean that's really cool. Silverstone's a badass track.
Honestly, it was really amazing. I think it's definitely like in the top 5 for me now. But also like I have so many or so few like hours, I guess, driving overall. Every new track I go to is like top 5. So we'll see where it ranks like after this year, but right now it's in the top 5 for sure. It's really really cool track.
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
so. What's your favorite track of all? Like out of all the tracks you've been to?
Okay. So that I've been to or in general? So in general, Fuji Speedway in Japan. That's
Okay,
number one. Bucket list. I need to go race there. I don't know how I'm gonna figure the budget out to do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. That has to happen. But I think that I've raced at. I feel like Coda is the easy one, but I'm not gonna say Coda because I've just been at Coda. I haven't actually raced at Coda. Funny enough, I've driven at Coda loads of times, but um, Eagles Canyon in like Dallas, funny enough, is like a really good track.
Oh,
And maybe people wouldn't like that wouldn't be like someone's first choice, but I liked all the like elevation change and stuff like that. That was really, really fun.
I heard
So
about Eagles Canyon actually. There's a YouTuber I watch like all the time. His name's Yami Noob. He's like a motorcycle YouTuber,
oh
and
cool.
yeah, he's always at Eagles Canyon, and I just always hear about it from watching his videos. So that's cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
One sec. I'm just gonna sorry.
oh, you're good.
oh, you're good.
My bad, my bad.
No,
My
totally
my
fine.
laptop was about to die and I thought it was fully charged.
No, you're good. We can just
Okay.
cut any like dead space out at the
Can
end.
can
So
we do it one more time? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
sorry, what's it?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, you gotta go one more time.
It
All
didn't
good.
plug in. Like I thought it plugged in. It made the sound and everything. Okay, it's actually good now. I apologize.
Yeah, it's okay. We can always cut this out in editing. No problem.
yeah,
Yeah, like God rays going on. Okay, okay, we're back.
we're back.
All
Right on.
right.
So
Yeah, Eagles Canyon is really really cool, man. It's a fun little track. Um, Silverstone, maybe Brands Hatch actually is okay. I'll change my mind. Brands Hatch is probably my favorite. It's super gnarly and it beat the crap out of me. It scared me a ton, but it was really fun, honestly.
I've done Brands Hatch and Gran Turismo. That's about the extent I've
Dude,
raced.
dude, same before, and like I was expecting it to not be as wild as it was, and it was insane. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry.
No, you're
But
good.
yeah, the
It,
turn one, like going down the hill, absolutely insane. Like it feels like you jumped off a building, to be honest. Like
Oof.
it, it is wild.
wow.
Video games, Sims, none of that does it justice. Like it's really a full commitment corner, to be honest. The rest of
Wow.
the track is whatever, but that
Yeah,
turn one
yeah,
is insane.
that's good to know. See, I didn't know that. That's interesting, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
How,
I
how
mean,
would you? Oh no, go ahead.
no, please.
I was just
What
gonna
do you
say, like, how would you kind of like describe like going from like your sim racing background into
Yeah.
like going into real racing? Like was that kind of like a sensory overload, or like was there a lot to like digest?
So when I talk about this, I preface by saying I had done some real driving before, right? So it's not I can't give the complete take from zero. I think it would be unfair to like try to do that. But that being said, to be honest with you, yes, okay, for sure. You have to get used to the G forces. I think everyone talks about that. The G forces you have to get used to. You really have to get used to how loud the car is. Like it's super super loud inside the car. Gearboxes are super like inside a race car is a very violent place, and I don't think like Sims don't really like show that. I don't know how they can, but they don't really show that. Like it's super violent. It's a ton of vibration going over a curb, especially when you're on like a prototype. I mean, you're laying on the ground effectively, so you feel it the entire time, like through your entire body. you're super tight in the sim, or sorry, in the seat. You can't really move your head. Like it's not a comfortable experience. I think that's probably the hardest thing. The actual driving, believe it or not, is incredibly similar. Um, in fact, I found myself in like really hairy situations that just because I'd done so much like sim racing, especially at like a fairly high level, it just kind of filled in the gaps for me. Like I found myself like once I started to get the courage to do things, it just kind of worked. Like I knew what to do. I wasn't really trying to figure it out. Um, so it's really just getting used to being in the environment. That is the big thing that you have to try to like simulate somehow. Maybe
Mhm.
karting, if you like real carts, not like rental carts that we have here. Maybe that helps because I've been on a real proper cart, and that's a very violent place. So maybe that helps. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a easier transition than people think it is.
Okay. Wow. See, that's pretty interesting. You painted a pretty clear picture about like the cockpit experience because I didn't know that. That's news to me. So
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
pretty
know
cool.
that either.
Super hot,
That's
super, super hot. Like it's to be honest, like the first time I ever like got in like a proper race car where I was going out to drive and I was responsible for crashing the car, like, and I had to pay for it, like all that stuff. I was just like, dude, I'm in over my head. Like this is like we're gonna have some problems here. But you just trust yourself and it just kind of works out. But yeah, it's like really hard to get used to. Um, that just like not being able to move even like you want to look really far ahead as you're driving, but you kind of can't because you can't really like turn your neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's hard to get used to. But I think really once you drive a couple of times, it starts to become like a new norm for you, and it's not a big deal. But the first couple times for sure, it's really really sketchy.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah, like I have like I've done like rental carts and
Yeah,
like surprisingly that can get kind of intense like on like an outdoor track like
for sure.
not nearly to the extent of like a race car, right? But, you know, more than like just like a regular passenger car. Yeah, but like that's pretty interesting. And like you said, like I don't know if a sim can never really capture that unless you get like a whole like
Yeah, I mean, I've been on those like crazy motion rigs,
yeah.
Mhm.
and like
Oh yeah.
it doesn't really. I feel like it goes too far sometimes. I was on one before, and it was like everything was like super exaggerated, and I was like, like this isn't really like how it is. It's more muted than this. Like what you really should focus on is like the vibration when you start the car, right? Or like when you're pulling out of the pits and you're coming off the clutch and like the clutch is like grabbing and the car is like shaking like really violently, or like you're on the pit limiter and the car is like trying to rattle your head off, your neck. Um, that would probably be like something that you could make it super, super violent. It is violent in that going over a curb is a ton of vibration and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of the Sims when you shift, they're trying to like shake you and everything like that. And it's like it's not necessarily like that. Um, but those things are super expensive. When I tell people when they get into sim racing, they're like, "Hey, what do I get?" Like, dude, just get the cheapest thing you can afford, honestly. Like, you can always build things up, but if you came to me and you had like a $50,000 budget, I would not have you spend anywhere near that money to get all this stuff that's supposed to replicate real life, because to be honest, it doesn't.
Hmm.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much just already.
I was
Like
about to
this is
say,
pretty
this is eye opening right now. Like this whole thing's eye opening.
Yeah, I
yeah.
had someone ask me. I was talking to someone not too long ago, an older guy. He was looking into getting a sim for his son, and he was like, "Oh, this guy's trying to sell me this like $20,000 stuff," and I was like, "No, stop it. I'm gonna send you like a whole list of stuff to buy, not brands in particular. Like I don't care what brand you buy, but like for this price range, and this price range. If someone's trying to sell you a $20,000 sim for your first sim, they're trying to scam you. And hopefully, I don't know. I haven't heard back from him, but hopefully he didn't buy the $20,000 sim. I was like, you don't have to do that. It's insane.
Yeah. Especially if you're starting out, I feel like in any like hobby or like anything people are trying to get into,
Yeah,
people always want to go with like the most expensive thing. Like
yeah,
I know like music, for example, right? Like people want to get like the Gibson Les Paul, or they want to get
Yeah.
like expensive Fender, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't need to do all that. Like you can get a little Squire and like play on that.
Epiphone. You can get an Epiphone Les Paul.
Yeah, yeah,
You can add to it as time goes on.
yeah. Just like an example, but like that makes sense that like you've had people kind of like approach you about like that too. It's the same like I
Yeah.
guess psychology. Like people just think that like I don't know what it is exactly because I don't have that mindset, but more expensive does not mean you're gonna get good, better, easier.
No, I mean, dude, people went pro in sim racing on like Logitech G920s. You can get those at a garage sale for $100, right? Like, for sure. Like, okay. So that's one side of it. But I will say, especially now that I'm like more tenured or whatever, I do genuinely find the value in higher quality equipment, like more higher quality equipment. Like I have hydraulic pedals now for the first time, and I find the value in that because I can like, for example, so I figured out I'm driving the LMP3 this year. I figured out what like peak brake pressure is in that car, like as a pressure value, and I can like map my hydraulic pedals to that and then map the pedal feel or the pedal travel to the real pedal.
Oh.
And so now I'm like really preparing for my car. But this is an edge case. This is not like a normal, necessarily a
Yeah.
normal thing. But the pedal does feel better. Like I can genuinely feel that it feels more realistic. Is it making me fat? To be honest, it probably made me a little slower in the sim. To be perfectly honest with you. So like, more expensive or like more features doesn't necessarily equal better or faster. Like the core skills, just like I said, someone in a Logitech G920 will destroy you on the sim. Uh, what with your super high end gear if you don't know what you're doing. So
Yeah, exactly. You can't buy skill, that's for sure. Not in anything.
100%, 100%.
The funniest thing is that both Tyler and I both have Logitech G920s.
There's I'm trying to get rid of this glare, but keep
It's all
them.
good.
Like they're great wheels. There's really no. I mean, what do you spend? What do you spend like $150 on them?
Well, I got mine brand new from the store.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and it was on discount. It was like, oh gosh, 279 before tax.
That's
After
a
tax, it
good
ended up
deal,
being 300.
man. That's a
Mine was
good deal. Like no sim stuff is that cheap anymore. And to be honest, like the next price up, like if you go to 300 or $500, those like wheels and pedals and things are not that much better than your Logitech that it's really worth it in my opinion. If you were
yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna spend like $1,500 and I'm gonna get like a whatever direct drive and I'm gonna get hydraulic pedals or whatever, sure. But until you're like really ready to like make a plunge, just stay on the Logitech stuff. And there's like a ton of upgrades and stuff for the Logitechs too that you can get.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
there's
can
huge
upgrade
aftermarket.
Yeah.
super versatile. So
The
I mean
Honda Civic of sim racing, right? Like it's cheap, it's reliable, and there's mods everywhere. There's super
yes.
high quality mods and there's super cheap mods. They all kind of work the same. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally have a mod for my Logitech coming in as we speak. I'm getting like a little like F1 wheel mod.
oh, nice. I've seen those.
Yeah, they're
I've
pretty
seen those.
cool.
Yeah,
It's like $100 to get the mod. You just like unscrew like the base steering wheel, and you just
yeah.
with the same screws, just the mod. It's pretty
Perfect.
cool.
Perfect. That's amazing. Honestly, like I like that. I like that there's companies that are willing to support the like smaller brands, or like I guess Logitech isn't small, but you know what I mean, like the more entry level stuff. Because like if you really think about it, the vast majority of people getting into sim racing are probably coming in at that level, right? And
Yeah.
you don't want to scare people away. I think sim racing, kind of like motorsports, can be a little gatekeepy sometimes where it's like gear snobs or it's like you race on this sim and so because you race on this sim you suck because this one's better or whatever, like you know uh, at the end of the day if you're playing F125 or you're on Gran Turismo or you're on iRacing or Le Mans Ultimate, it's still the same. Like it's all, as long as you're having a good time, like it's worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, right. At the end of the day, I mean, as long as you like it, it's like whatever, right?
Yeah, I think people really chase the realism in sim racing, which is cool, but uh there's like a very specific skill set I think to train to transition into real life, and I've helped a couple of people do it now that I've refined it myself. But
Hmm.
then again, that's an edge case, right? Like 99% of people sim racing are not going to take that plunge. And for those that are, you know, I will tell you that the pro rigs, like the proper pro rigs, are on Assetto Corsa.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, you don't need to do anything crazy to train properly in the sim.
Yeah, I watched a podcast with Max Verstappen and Gabby Bortoletto, and
Mm.
they were saying that like they're not even like they're using like a modified version of like Assetto Corsa to like
Yeah.
train off season and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so Assetto Corsa, you can actually go super in the weeds and you can change like physics on the tires and stuff like that. So some of these like really talented modders, I mean, they have proper tire models like that rival, if not are better than like your iRacing tire model or something like that. And so yeah, I can imagine that those guys like tell them like, hey, this is what it actually feels like on the tire. It's not public, but this is what it feels like. And then they give them, something that's actually representative because I can tell you like iRacing's great, but the tire is really, really bad. And, Max Verstappen on his sim is probably not using the sim for real life training as far as the tire is concerned. He's probably just having fun and just practicing like being competitive, right? Like he is.
Yeah.
Um, but every sim is kind of different. So
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So circling back really quick, so you did like some track days, and you got a sim
yeah.
coach, like a coach for like your sim racing, and then that kind of helped you transition into like the real life thing. Can you like kind of talk us through like how that went and like
Yeah.
what that process was like?
Yeah, I mean, so I was coached by Suelio Almeida. He's like the probably like the most popular sim racing coach. If you've gone on like sim racing Instagram, you've probably seen Suelio, and he's great. He's also done the transition to real life as well. But I remember like doing a session with him, and I was like, I don't think I really have any like talent for this. He's like, no, like your brake traces are like really good. He's like, I wouldn't expect that you would have the control over the brakes that you do. And I was like, okay, thanks, whatever. And I think that kind of just put a little bug in my head where I was like, okay, maybe, when I drive again on my track day, I'll remember some of this stuff. And instead of just sending the car, I'm just gonna like try to have a little more precision. I'm gonna focus on my brake. He said my brake's really good. Like, does it translate? And it kind of did. And I was like, okay, maybe this might mean something. And then I met a guy who didn't come from sim racing, but he didn't have a background in racing either until kind of recently or around then. And he was like, "Hey, this is what you have to do to get into racing." And it was basically, I'll give you the formula. Like I love telling people this, right? So in America, if you want to race, you generally need like an SCCA or like a NASA license or something like that. I think you get an SCCA license if you have a car and you go to like one of their like racing things. You can just like use it for a weekend and you'll get a license, or you can go to like a racing school. I went to a racing school and it was like 3 or 4 days, and they taught you a ton of stuff. It was fine. And then they sign off if they think you're safe, and they give you the license. You take that to the SCCA, you pay them your money, and they give you a license. Then I went and found a guy local here in Austin named Chris Taylor, who rents out race cars. So he rents out Mazda Miatas and also this front wheel drive Mazda called a B Spec. It's like a Mazda 2 or a Mazda 3, Mazda 2. And so I went and did races with him, local around Texas. So we did Eagles Canyon, we did MSR Houston. I think that was it. But you do 6 races, and if you do 6 races and you're safe and stuff like that, the SCCA will basically sign off on giving you your FIA license. And so your FIA license, like the international license, is that first step to like you guys have heard about like bronze, silver, gold ratings or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's kind
Yeah.
of the first step to that. I mean, you can kind of get both if you want it, but that's that world, right? But that lets you go race, wherever, right? Most places will accept an FIA international license. So literally, I found Praga through Jimmy Broadbent's videos. I was like, oh, I like this Praga car. This seems really cool. I like the prototypes. I literally found Praga's email and I was like, how do I get into one of your cars, please? And they told me like, oh yeah, just contact this team. This is a team we've used before. Um, they were effectively running the Praga factory cars when Jimmy was driving around that time in the UK. So I contacted them and I was like, I would like to come race. I don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully I'm asking correctly. Hopefully this is okay. And they were like, yeah, come on over. I paid them the fee. We flew to the UK and we were racing. Like, we were at Brands Hatch. Like just like that, I was at Brands Hatch, like sending it in like a 400 horsepower, super light aero prototype.
That is so
Insane.
Yeah,
cool.
really insane. But like that's the thing. When I tell people that, they're like, "That's it." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, that's literally it." Right? Like, yes, there's money that's involved. Yes, there's time that's involved in all this stuff. But the pathway is genuinely that simple, right? So even if you don't want to do the FIA stuff, pretty much anyone can go get an SCCA license if you're safe and be club racing here locally right now. It's super super straightforward to do, right?
Damn.
Um, and that's what I want to try to like, push people to doing if they want to do that.
Yeah, that's super cool. I knew about the SCCA license. FIA license, I'm not too familiar with. Like, as far as I know, like I've only like really heard FIA get thrown around with Formula One.
The
So
FIA stuff is kind of weird because so there's an international, if I remember correctly. Someone in a comment is going to be like, "You're wrong," which is fine. But I think there's the C, which is what I have, B and A, and power goes or whatever. So like I'm pretty sure like the F2 car is like an international A. And so basically all the F4 kids get like an international C and then they move up. I think by F3 they're in the B because the power to weight's different or whatever. And there's certain requirements. Maybe you have to do a certain number of races or something. I don't know. But then you get the A, and then from there, if you're going the F1 route, when you have an A, most of the time, I believe the series that you're in with an A allow you to get super license points. Then you get enough super license points, you can get a super license. On the other side of it, the sports car side, what I like to call the grounded world, um, basically you have a C, you can go race. I'm pretty sure you can race a GT3 car with a C. You can definitely race a GT4 car. It might be a B for a GT3 car, but it's at least one of those. You don't need an A. And that's it. The rating thing is mostly age based, to be honest. Like the bronze, silver thing is mostly age based. So like anyone under 30, I believe, is a silver, which is like pretty much what most people are. And that just means like you're a pro or semi-pro or whatever, whether you're getting paid or not. That's what they call it. Gold and platinums are your like, factory drivers. They won like a major series or something like that. I'm pretty sure most F1 drivers, like by the time they're in F1, if they want to do sports car racing and get a rating, because they don't just get it automatically, they have to ask for it. They're usually platinums, if I remember correctly. Um, and then bronze, like which what I am, is that's the interesting one. So bronze is technically the gentleman driver rating. Basically what that means, you're a rich guy and you want to go racing and you're like over 30. I guess 30 is old now, so we'll take that for what it is. But um yeah, that's the rich guy rating apparently. I'm not a rich guy. I'm a bronze because I'm over 30. But generally people don't expect people that are bronzes to be quick. There's some exceptions, some really, really cool exceptions, but generally you're not quick. My goal is to be, a quick bronze because I don't consider myself a gentleman. I don't have the money, number one, and I take it very, very seriously. So, not to say that those guys don't, but generally people don't think that they do. So, that's how it works. It's super convoluted. I tried to do it. I tried to give you like an elevator pitch on it, but yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, you're totally right about it being kind of convoluted on the FIA side of it. Yeah, because it's just like super confusing. I didn't even know like that's what you like. That's the prerequisite to get FIA bronze. You're like a gentleman racer. Like I had no idea about any of that.
Yeah, it's so weird. I think it used to be 35, but they changed it to 30. But yeah, basically, I guess in motorsport after 30, apparently, that's it. You're washed. So, um, yeah. So I think some people. So you can ask to be higher. Like I could have asked to be a silver. But I think I mentioned like pretty much everyone's a silver, right? So when you want to get drives, it's harder to get drives, especially when you have a little less budget when you're a silver, because there's a lot of really fast silvers. Some of them might have budget, right? Whereas bronzes, generally bronzes are expected to bring money, but in some cases, if you're a fast bronze, like you're properly fast bronze, you might not have to bring that much budget or any budget because you might find a team that's like, I want to win, and you're faster than all the other bronzes that are going to be in the car. Let's make a deal, right? So,
Oh yeah.
Oh wow,
that's my ultimate hope is to get to that point. I'm not there yet, but that's the goal.
that's super cool. That's super cool. Um, so where would you say like your end goal is? Because that's like your kind of your goal to be, like
Yeah.
racing for a team, right? If I understood that right.
Yeah, I mean, so I can kind of like the thing about sports car racing is, I mean, you basically just pay to go drive with someone, right? Like most people are paying, almost no one's getting paid. So like a perfect situation for me is I'm funded and I can go and race as much as I want, right? So what that will look like is, you know, maybe the social stuff is doing great and I'm able to, use that to get sponsors and stuff because again, I'm not rich, right? So I don't have money to just go racing.
Hmm.
But maybe that helps me get the sponsors that I need and can provide value to people, and I'm able to just go race. And so, like, I want to be doing IMSA, I want to do ELMS, I want to go to Le Mans, I want to do the 24. I want to do all the things, right? But at a very high level. Like, I want to be a very dependable, considered a pro, right? Like, someone is like, this is a professional guy. He's quick. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be, Kevin Extra fast, right? Like that's not gonna happen. But I'm dependable, when I'm in the car, I'm quick, I can drive in any condition, I'm adaptable, like that kind of stuff. Like that's the ultimate goal. And if I can get there, then we might be able to win some stuff. So that would be cool.
Sweet, that is super cool. Sounds like you're on the way already. I think.
I hope
Absolutely.
so. I mean, yeah, it's tough, but yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. No. It's super interesting to pick your brain about like this whole thing because I can definitely say that like I play like mostly just like Syncades, so like F125 Gran Turismo, right? Um, but I like to think I'm like slowly as I turn off like settings and try to get faster and faster and faster, I'm like
Yeah.
slowly kind of like moving towards like full sim and like maybe trying to compete in that.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to kind of be more towards like where you're at, where I'm
Yeah.
like racing in real cars and you know doing the real thing.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really cool to hear like everything you have to say because you've literally like done it, you know.
For sure. I also think it's important, like I want people to know that you can make this transition as a sim racer into real life without being like the top 1% guy, right? Like I'm pretty quick. Like I don't know where I rank because I haven't done any of the pro series stuff. Like I've won league championships and stuff like that, which is it's still great. Like it wasn't easy, don't get me wrong, and there's not people there are not slow. Um, but I'm certainly not like the top 1% guy that's absolutely sending it on iRacing special events, multiple times a year. I'm not that guy, right?
Yeah.
Some of those guys haven't or can't or have tried and failed, whatever, to make it in real life. So you don't have to be that guy to jump into real racing, right? Because again, the way you drive at the top of sim racing is not in any way, shape, or form related to real life. Yes, those guys are adaptable. They can a lot of them will probably be able to figure it out, but so can you, right? Like, it does not have to be something that's exclusive to this like small percentage of sim racers. Like anyone at any level can do this and can make this jump. You just have to figure out how to make the connections. And it's going to be slightly different for everyone, right? Like you got to seek coaching, by someone that knows what they're talking about. And you just kind of have to try. Like it took me a while to figure out how to drive competitively for sim racing, but also use sim racing as a tool to train for real life. they're two different things, and I have to flip a switch when I do them. But once you figure that out, it can really help you.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's very encouraging because
Yeah.
I have this mindset that like unless I'm like at the top of the leaderboards on like the for example like the F125 time trials, if I'm not there with like Alfie Butcher and like whoever the hell else is on the top, like I shouldn't be looking at like real cars. But it's from what
No,
I'm hearing, it's like that's not it at all.
no, and the thing is, like, these guys, and they're a lot of them are getting paid, so like you can't knock it. But they're driving 8 to 10 hours a day. Absolutely, like, especially even on like the iRacing side, like, and I know on the F1 esports side they do it, but these guys are in like almost like content houses, but just for their sim teams, and they're just that's their job, right? They're practicing, they're grinding it out for 8 to 10 hours a day. I can tell you, you could probably do that for real life racing, like with the sim, but it's not really gonna help you that much. So, trying to figure out how to exploit, for lack of a better term, the sim engine to get more time, that yeah, okay, I guess like that kind of helps in real life because we kind of do that, but it's different, you know what I mean, right? Like you can figure that out in a real car. You just have to like use the sim properly. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely people that are like super fast in real life and absolutely garbage on the sim, and vice versa. And then there's some people that are like somewhere in the middle, you know? You just have to figure out, you have to like learn for you what it means to relate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that is not to say don't like go be competitive on the sim, like be competitive. I think it trains your competitive spirit in general. But no, you don't have to be an F1 esports to like get in a real car. Like we could get you in a real car next week if we really wanted to, and you'd probably be fine.
okay, that's cool. That's good to
Yeah.
that that gives me so much more confidence than I had before because it was a lot more doom and gloom. I feel like with like what my perception was.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because like that's what I'm talking about. Like people just make this like barrier that doesn't actually exist, but it makes people convince themselves that it exists. And I'm here to say like it ain't there, man. Like you can do whatever you want, you know what I mean? And if someone tries to tell you like, "Oh, you should be doing this," well, you're like 5 years behind, you know. Sim racers are here. We're in real cars. We're quick. We're not you don't have a reset. So, John, man.
Sweet.
I
I
encourage you actually.
Yeah, that's great to hear from you because you're literally like you're doing it. You're doing the thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, I got a real cart. Let me tell
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
we're on pause. We're back.
Okay,
Okay. That's not too
cool.
bad.
Um,
Um, where we leave off?
oh,
Uh,
just talking about like this like this notion that you have to take these like, linear paths into motorsport, right? Like, or
That's right.
yeah, like, oh, if you have to do karting, you have to. It's not basketball, like I was saying, right? Like you can, because it's a customer sport. Effectively, if you can figure the money out and you can prove to the organizing bodies that you're a safe person, like they're gonna let you race, right? Now,
Yeah.
what you do with that is up to you, of course. But I mean, you can drive, especially at the SCCA level. It's super accessible, and everyone's super nice. Like, I don't know why it's so gatekeepy. It makes it when I first like went to races, I was like, okay, are people gonna be mean? Like, are they gonna be like side eyeing me or whatever? But no, like everyone was super nice. So it's really weird that it's not more welcoming. I hope to try to change that because it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a little weird. I know. When I've tracked my motorcycle, I've only done it twice, but like in the garages and stuff, like doing track days for fun. I made a bunch of friends. Like everybody's pretty nice, at least on that level, because no one's really like, you know, at each other's throats yet. It's not
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah, I mean, even when it's competitive, dude, people are like, you're really competitive on track, and then like you're just vibing off track. Like it's not, I think, the super, super high top tier levels of motorsport, maybe it's people aren't like that, but you know, again, in the grounded world, uh, it's not it's not really that serious. No, you have your knuckleheads for sure, but
Yeah.
those are everywhere, right? So I think the goal is to just try to not be one of those people accidentally, because that can happen for sure. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's super important for like all of us to kind of do our parts to make sure that motorsport, as like I try to get into it, and as you're into it, and Caleb, if you want to get into it also, like we all kind
Yeah.
of just like come together to get like a good space for everybody, like a good positive space, and kind of move away from like the elitism that it's been at for decades.
yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like ultimately, this is our space. Some of these older people are maybe not going away, but they don't have as much say and as much control anymore. Or hopefully they don't. And if they do, we just move them out of the way, and we're like, hey, we're gonna be nice. We're gonna be welcoming here, and to be clear, like as I was saying, like no one has ever in motorsport been rude to me yet. Like it hasn't happened yet. I'm sure it will, but like
Yeah.
anywhere from rural Texas to London or Silverstone, like an hour outside of London. Like no one's been rude to me yet, which is like, I feel kind of bad that I thought people were gonna be mean to me. But I think that's just a product of kind of the space, right? Like it's like, okay, hey, maybe we're not being as welcoming as you might think we are, right? So how do we try to change that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's good though that too that like in your personal experience, like it's not like that also. So
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's knuckleheads everywhere, but generally most people have been super, super pleasant. So
yeah, that's good. That's good to hear.
That's
Um,
great. Absolutely.
yeah. I'm just kind of looking through like my list of questions. I feel like we got most of them answered, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Um, oh, okay. Here's a good one. So, like when you like train with the sim versus like when you are in the real car, like what's your split with that? Would you say?
I'm almost never in a car because it's so expensive. I haven't driven a car. It's what is it? It's like mid-March right now.
Yeah.
I haven't driven a car since July.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
like the summer.
I haven't been in a car since July. It's super expensive. So, I don't know how specific with numbers I can get, which I kind of hate, but like the LMP3 is anywhere from like 30 to $50,000 a weekend sharing it with someone. So it's really like 60 to 80, right? Okay. To test is the same price.
Wow.
So to go practice, to go test, I mean, you have to have like a race budget and then a couple of more races budget effectively to go test, right? Um, the Praga was cheaper. I probably can say this. The Praga was like 13K US for a race. Testing was a little cheaper because they do it a little different in Europe, but like, I had to take a 2-hour flight to Atlanta and then an 8-hour flight to London and then a 2 to 4 hour drive depending on what track we were going to, right? And then I
Yeah.
had to drive the very next day, like that very next day. So that was always really, really hard. It was hard on the body, like you're never really in it. Um, and that was like few and far between, right? So the sim is like the only thing I got. And I've had to find really creative ways to focus on process. I think that's the main thing I get out of it. Like, okay, what is my process going to be? How am I going to warm the tires? How am I going to learn a track that I've never been to? Because pretty much every track I've raced that I've never been to before. Um, how am I going to push in a way that is sustainable and not going to send me into the wall or send me spinning all the time where I'm wasting time or racking up a huge bill that I don't have the money to pay for, right?
Yeah.
Finding that process and trying to do that in the sim without making mistakes, I take that and I have it like in a notepad even, and I literally just go to the real car and we just do the same thing and
Mhm.
just see where that works out. You know, maybe we're not at P1 pace, but as long as we're finding some improvement throughout the weekend, like that's a win. And so that's kind of where I've been at, especially until I can get some more budget where I can be a little more comfortable being like, okay, if we do have an off, you know, I'm not bankrupt. Because again, it's a front nose of an LMP3 car is like $30,000. So yeah, you don't want to,
You don't want
yeah, crash.
to. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what the
So
car's worth, but it's just a wing, like the front bumper you said.
yeah, it's like so the whole front of an LMP3 car is that like carbon fiber splitter, and then the
Mhm.
whole front of the car is carbon fiber, obviously, and then the lights. I think they can fix them, but like you pretty much if you're gonna have a big enough hit that it's gonna cause damage, like you pretty much have to get one. So they're like 30K. So
Oof.
you know you got to be really careful. And I think that's another thing that I have to like tell people about when I'm trying to like court some sponsors. Like, hey, are you gonna like win a championship? And I'm like, probably not, to be honest with you, right? Like one, I don't have the experience and we're still learning, but two, like realistically, you know, a lot of these guys do have budget, right? And they can afford to bump a front nose or have an off and crash in the interest of speed. They're not trying to crash, but they can afford making a mistake. I have to kind of rein it in and or, which is something I'm really focusing on this year with the sim, is learn how to get closer to their pace in a sustainable way, or I'm not making mistakes, right?
Right.
So that it can be faster and not have to worry about crashing or having little offs or things like that where we are getting the damage. So I think that's the difference, though. Like I think that's where the sim is super beneficial. That when people aren't using the sim, that are not using the sim, sorry, don't have that advantage.
Yeah, that is so interesting too. Like I never really like thought about it, but yeah, like especially in like that LMP3 car that you mentioned, like it's you can't afford to make a mistake unless you're like, you know, you got sponsors or you got money. So you have to either, you know, take it back a notch and kind of like have like the muzzle on, so to speak.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're pushing, like the likelihood of you making a mistake goes up, and then you know you can end up like you said, like bankrupts, you know, over like a wing or something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I had some buddies that I don't think it's a secret. I'm not gonna say who they are, but like I don't think it's a secret to them that if they see all this, they would get upset. Like they had a crash that was not their fault and it ended their season last year because it basically
Oh
rode off an
man.
entire, you know, GT car, right?
That's so
It
Oh,
sad.
had nothing to do with them, but the rest of their budget went to the insurance, the deductible on this race car, and it like, you know, it totaled the car. So, you know, you have to think about these things because it'll also be stuff that's like not your fault. And you know, in racing, it's not like real life where if you rear end my car, like your insurance has to pay. Like, no, everyone's paying for their own damage regardless of who caused it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. You have to like learn people. You have to learn like, okay, how does this person drive? Like, are they safe? Can I pass them? Can I trust them, right? But sim racing helps with that as well because you go in some of these public lobbies and there's like some super respectful people and then there's absolute crazies. And so if you learn how to navigate through those people, I think that's also really, really helpful because, you know, turn one at Monza in the sim is exactly the same in real life. It's exactly the same.
Oof.
I can show, I'll send you guys like some clips from like some Carrera Cup or whatever, Carrera Cup Italy or whatever at Monza, and you'll watch them go through turn one, and you're like, this is literally a sim race. Like these
it's like
guys are crazy. Sorry?
oh, I was saying like it's literally like a bloodbath.
Yeah, it's insane. And I'm just like, wow, okay, in the span of this corner, like $300,000 in damage just happened. Like insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm over
Yeah,
here.
but
Even in the sim, I'm just like, okay, down, 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 like.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I did a race the other night, and literally I was going into turn one at Mazda. That's why I thought about it. And this dude just like it was one of those memes where you see that he's like the car's like screaming. He's like, and he literally just comes flying through, never brakes. And I was like, whoa, dude, like. But that every single one of those experiences like translates to real life because like yeah, maybe it won't be that extreme all the time, but people do some crazy things or people have failures in their car or whatever, and you have to be kind of heads up about it, and you have to notice what's going on. So
Yeah, yeah, having that awareness, not just of like your situation, but like the psychology of like the other racers you're with, right?
yeah,
Um, like that's huge. I remember just like when I had like my track days, like having to understand like the people around me and how they were, like if they were gonna be like trying to like battle me when I'm
yeah,
trying to pass, or like if they were like cool with it.
yeah,
Um,
for sure. I mean, there's definitely those people on like HPD days that think it's a race and they're trying to battle or whatever, but you know, yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, right? Like it's an interesting dynamic making the transition because like people are always asking me like, oh, like what's the big difference? It's really not that much different, to be honest. Like it's pretty the same. The Sims are just getting so good nowadays, and people are people, right? So there's not much transition that you have to account for.
okay, interesting on that aspect.
Yeah,
Um, hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the last thing I want to ask about is more about like that LMP3 car.
yeah,
'Cause I actually, I know about like our GT3 cars and stuff like that, and like F1 cars, obviously. But LMP cars, I actually don't know that much about them. Are you willing to like kind of educate me and
yeah,
Caleb here?
yeah. Do like the hypercars, right? Like the GTPs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're like generally the P3 is not exactly the same, but they're like pretty similar chassis, right? Like it's a carbon monocoque, like enclosed cockpit. So it's like an open wheel car just with a cockpit. Like if you literally see them with the bodies off and you see like a Formula car with the bodies off, like it looks really, really similar. And it's because they are. So like LMP, Le Mans prototype is a class. I don't know like the exact history, but it was basically like how manufacturers make prototype stuff, right? So like the hypercars are generally like they're prototypes of stuff that they would put in their real cars or whatever, or at least that's the intent. And like like an LMP2 car is like a little down from a hypercar. And there used to be more, but there's only one now really. But it's like, okay, this is like what a manufacturer might want to put on a car, but they're not going to build a car for it. They're going to put it on this like space frame looking thing. The LMP3 is like the entry level to that, right? So they're slower, they're heavier, a little bit less downforce. Um, they're more entry level to the prototypes, and they're like a spec, right? So they all have the same engine, they all have the same gearbox, even though there's a couple of different manufacturers. And they're like I would say they're a couple of seconds faster than a GT3 car. Like at top pace, like the top guys versus the top guys, is a couple of seconds fast. I think at Sebring, like right now, the GTD cars are doing like 202s. And a P3, I'm pretty sure like a fast P3 is like a 55, like 155.
Oh,
So yeah, so it's faster, but it's not as much faster as you would think. Um, like 500 horsepower. There was the previous gen, which had like a V8, and now the new gen has like a twin turbo V6. But we're in the period where they both can race
Oh.
together, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, it used to be a much bigger class in IMSA where they raced in like WeatherTech, the main championship, but now they're in their own championship right now, which is what I'm in. So there's the VP challenge, and then there's the Airbnb endurance challenge, and that's what I'm doing. So the idea is they're endurance race cars, like they're prototype race cars to go endurance racing. You can buy
yeah,
them and go racing relatively cheaply, right?
yeah. In the context of like racing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
relatively.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you wanted to buy like a Porsche GT3 car, I think they're like 600 grand, and you have to buy all the spares and stuff, which you have to do for everything. But you have to sometimes you have to have like an allocation by Porsche, just like their road cars, right? Whereas like a P3 car, like I've actually inquired with Ligier on buying one, and they'll just sell you one, right? Like the idea is it's like everyone has the same thing. You don't have to try to develop a car. Like it comes to you as a spec, and you go racing. And hopefully it's pretty even, right? Like that's the point. Whereas like GT3 cars, you have manufacturers making a car representative of their real cars, and they're trying to like build a better car than the next, manufacture and things like that. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. That's an interesting, super interesting actually. Um, and so you said you're competing in an endurance race coming up, right? And it's the what was it again? Was it the Airbnb one?
Yeah, so it's the IMSA Airbnb Endurance Challenge at COTA. It's May 7th to 9th. And so yeah, I'll be there in the P3 sharing with a co-driver. And yeah, we hope to do the full season. We don't quite have the budget for it. We skipped Sebring. That was the first round like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But COTA, we're home, so we got to make that one happen. So we're gonna do that one, and yeah, hopefully we
We'll
can do
see
the
you
whole.
there.
Yes,
I look forward to it. We're gonna do a podcast, so
Yeah.
yes, dude.
I got a
We're gonna
cool spot we can do it as well.
Ooh.
really.
Yeah. I got a cool. I'm gonna talk to some people. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
If I'm gonna be back, have you guys had like someone come back to the podcast before?
So we actually just had our first guest yesterday. I don't know if you know Jenna
Okay.
on the grid.
The name sounds familiar.
So she's
She's
in,
big in the F1 space.
yeah, she's
she-
big in the F1
one-
space.
Okay.
Yeah, she does a lot of that kind of content. We interviewed her. I think she's gonna be a returning guest because it went pretty well.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
So
Well, apart from her, if I'm gonna be, I found her. If I'm gonna be coming back, we have to do it. It has to be the best one. So we gotta find a good spot for it.
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
dude, I'm so down. Sounds like so much fun. I'm clearing my calendar now, May 7th
Alright,
through
cool.
9th.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you guys there. We'll get you like in the car and stuff.
No way, nah.
Yeah,
What?
why not? Yeah.
Dude, you're making like
Yeah.
7-year-old me's dreams like go crazy right now. Like
See,
I'm going.
this is the thing though, right? Like, why not, right? Like, why? I mean, you can't let everyone in the car, obviously, but like, I feel like, you know, and this is what IMSA's like. Like, IMSA's pretty open and pretty inviting generally, right? Like, we have to bring people in. You know what I mean? Like, you have to let people experience stuff because, like, you never know what bug you're gonna put into someone. Like,
Oh yeah.
you might show a kid, like I always show kids the car. I'm always like, do you want to sit in it? Like I offer it to them, like, please, like whatever you want. You can sit here, you can play with the paddles, like whatever. Because this kid could be like the next, whatever driver. And then I'm like watching an interview and I'm like 70 and they're like, yeah, I remember Daniel Oliver like gave me let me sit in the car. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like that's like what really drives me about this stuff because I'm old enough now that I'm like I could have kids. I don't have kids yet, but like, and I'm thinking about this stuff where I'm just like, okay, you can really make an impact on somebody if you just spend a little extra time. You know what
Absolutely.
Yeah, like creating like a legacy pretty much.
I mean? Yeah. But not necessarily for me, but just in general, right? Like, people should be this sport should be super open. It should be super inviting because, to be perfectly frank with you, none of this stuff exists without fans and fans that go on to become very, very passionate, right? Like whether they end up doing podcasts or they go drive or they become an engineer, like none of this stuff exists. Or the corner workers. Like corner workers are amazing and people don't know that like pretty much all of them are volunteer, right? The safety staff on an F1 weekend, on an IMSA weekend, on an SCCA weekend are volunteer, right? We literally cannot go racing without them. It doesn't exist. So if you're not fostering, this interest that people have in motorsport and supporting it and uplifting it, like this thing might not it might go away, and I think that would be a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're so right though too. Like absolutely. It needs to bring more people in and it needs to like fans and people that support each of like the classes of like the sport at like all levels, that's like the lifeblood for motorsport to exist.
100%.
Yeah.
Literally doesn't happen. It literally like it would cease to exist if we really closed it off. So
Yeah. Well, I think with that, yeah, May 7th through 9th, we're gonna be there and we're gonna have a bunch of fun and
Yep.
this will be your I don't know. Maybe you could. I mean, you can come back on our podcast as much as you want.
Absolutely.
But
Whenever.
I was about to say your second episode with us. But if you want to do more, like we're here. You know.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll do a series. No, that sounds really fun, honestly. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool. We'll have to work out the details, but yeah, let's make that happen. Let's
Okay,
make that happen.
absolutely.
Especially, I mean, you guys are here, like, duh, we have to do it. I mean,
For sure.
we have to.
Yeah. No, because I go to Austin like all the time too. So it's like really easy for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Me too.
I go there all the time, so yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. No, I think you guys have never been to an IMSA round or anything.
Nope.
IMSA
Never
round?
have.
Even what
All right.
IMSA
Well, first of all, you need to go to SRO in April. SRO April Austin. So go there. SRO is also a really cool series, and they have a round in Austin. Like I think it's like 4 or 5 different like series running that weekend. I'll send it to you. April 24th to 26th, and the tickets are usually cheap. They used to be free, but they're usually really cheap.
Okay.
Put this in there. GT World Challenge.
Gotcha.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and from Friday to Sunday, there's a ton of races, ton of sessions. So definitely go there. If you haven't been, I would like IMSA to be the first one for you, but I don't want to be selfish because again, we just spent like an hour talking about not gatekeeping. So go to SRO if you got the time, and check them out as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. Anybody listening, please feel free to look into it as well. I'm really looking forward to the future. This is I didn't expect my day to go like this. Now I have May 7th through 9th cleared.
Yep.
Nice.
Me too.
So I'm
Love to
really
see it.
yeah, we love to see it, right? This is
Yeah.
great. Did you have anything that either of you guys did you guys have anything you wanted to talk about before we wrap it up?
Nope. I'm pretty much dead set. I think this is the start of something really
We're just gonna
wonderful.
have to change the number on your hat. Just FYI. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah.
What'd you say?
What number?
We gotta change the number.
You know what? Ah. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, dude, no way. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we got. No, Leclerc's cool. I'm just teasing, but yeah, no, I mean this was fun, guys. I appreciate it, and yeah, let's do a really cool one at the track.
We'll see you at the track.
Yes, dude. Yes. We will see you at the Oh my god, thank you so much for being on here and chopping it up with us. I feel like I learned a lot. Caleb, I'm sure you learned a lot too, right?
Yeah. 100%. I learned a lot.
Yeah, this was like a master class in trying to figure out
Alright,
how to
so I'll
get
see
into
you on
racing.
track.
Yep.
Yep, you got it.
Make it happen.
All right. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, cool.
All right, my man. Well, yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you. We'll see you
guys at the
soon.
track.